Welcome into the show. This is the San Francisco 49ers Report. I'm Chase Sr., and no matter where you are, how you're tuned in, as always, I greatly appreciate you for taking the time out of your day to join me here on the show. And coming up, you won't believe what Colin Cowherd had to say about Brock Purdy, Kyle Shanahan, and the San Francisco 49ers. Going to relay what he had to say on The Herd today on Fox Sports, and then I'll react to that, so stay tuned for it. First, programming reminder. What a massive game tonight for the San Francisco 49ers. They travel up to the Pacific Northwest to take on the Seattle Seahawks. And of course, we're doing another watch party right here on the show. We will go live for an hour and 15-minute pregame show. The action here on the Niners Report begins at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And if you want Niners coverage every day, live shows, and watch party coverage, the best place to experience a Niners game day outside of being at the actual game, be sure to hit that subscribe button. After all, this is the largest independently run Niners channel right here on YouTube. As for what Colin Cowherd had to say, I want to run through all of that, then we're going to react to it tidbit by tidbit. And he said this morning on his show, The Herd on Fox Sports. Brock Purdy's completion percentage is worse this year than Will Levis. That's how Colin Cowherd started his dialogue. His touchdowns are lower than Justin Fields. His giveaways are more than Daniel Jones. He has regressed to the mean, and what's concerning is that he's only missing one piece on this Niners offense. Running back Christian McCaffrey and the backup Jordan Mason, a pretty good player. Colin Cowherd obviously keeps tabs on the Niners. He has said that he likes to watch Brock Purdy and this Kyle Shanahan offense. Yes, statistically, Jordan Mason has been really good, but he's not good in pass protection, and he's not the receiving threat that Christian McCaffrey is. That's the context in watching every single snap for the Niners this year. Back to Cowherd. He said, unless everything is perfect, Brock Purdy is just a guy. And, of course, in a Colin Cowherd classic type of fashion, he said, an everyday day trader, bro, is brilliant when the earning reports are good. What happens when they're not? Are you losing all of my money? Everybody is good in this league, Cowherd added, when they have time to throw and they have a stacked roster. A lot of quarterbacks win games. That's just how the league goes. Remember, once you pay Brock Purdy, you have to take away some of the toys. Right now, he's basically free. Last guy taken in the draft, Mr. Irrelevant, he's cheap. So you can surround him with an all-star team. Once you pay him, you don't get Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Trent Williams. I will say this, though. You can pull off salary cap gymnastics. You can backload that deal. And who's to say that definitively Brock Purdy is going to get $60 million per year? The Niners will still have a very talented team, and Colin Cowherd knows money. We just threw out the day trader reference. He's talked about the stock market. He's in a couple of business ventures, has his own burger spot in California. He has his own podcasting and digital media company. He has his own beer. The NFL salary cap is going to continue to rise. So even though you pay Brock Purdy a lot of money, if the Niners do go that route, you can still have an all-star level team around him. He then continued by saying, and I agree with him on this, tonight against the Seattle Seahawks is a no-excuse game for Brock Purdy. The opposing quarterback, Geno Smith, is average. It's a big game in prime time. Seattle is missing 3 starters on defense. Outside of Christian McCaffrey, all of the weapons are there for the Niners. And San Francisco is a great first-half team. They should be able to take the lead early in that first half and silence what is going to be, and always is, a deafening crowd. And it's Kyle Shanahan against a rookie head coach in Mike McDonald. And rookie head coaches struggle on Thursday Night Football. The Niners are also 3-0 in their last 3 Thursday night games. There's really 2 organizations, Cowherd said, where getting to the Super Bowl isn't enough. San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs. And over the last, let's say, 5 years, these have been the 2 top organizations in totality in the NFL. I know, Kansas City has those Super Bowls, the Niners do not, but San Francisco under the watch of Kyle Shanahan, has been an elite organization in the sport. Cowherd said what a lot of us are thinking. If the Niners lose in the Super Bowl again, especially if Shanahan loses a lead in the Super Bowl, his job is in jeopardy and he is in trouble. He said about Purdy, this is what worries me. The 49ers offensive splits. They're 4th in the NFL in the first half. They are 22nd in the NFL in second half offense. Why? Cowherd's theory? The first half, Kyle Shanahan's scripted plays. Brock Purdy knows what to run because the Niners and Brock Purdy practice that all week. But once the opposition sees the scripted plays, what happens? As we know this year, the Niners have really struggled in the second half of games. You think about elite quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. They're good as the game progresses. Brock Purdy this year has not been. And Cowherd added, you win Super Bowls and big playoff games off script. And the Niners continue to take leads, and then they can't do anything. And for quarterbacks, when the GPS gets turned off, you still need to get us home. Another classic Cowherd reference. He's very creative in that way, and that's why he's my sports broadcasting idol. He said that's the concerning thing with the Niners. Brock Purdy tonight needs to win and play well. So that's what Cowherd had to say in one of his opening dialogues today during his radio show, which you can also watch on television. Now let me react to it. And let's run through what Cowherd said. He compared Purdy to Levis, Fields, and Jones. Well, Brock Purdy's completion percentage is 65.6%. Will Levis is at 68.4%. So he has a point there. Statistically, he is correct. Total touchdowns. Brock Purdy has 6. Justin Fields has 8. Giveaways. Purdy has 6. Daniel Jones has 3. Again, statistically, he is right. But there is no doubt in my mind, and there should be no doubt in your mind. And if you say that Brock Purdy is not as good as Will Levis, Justin Fields, and Daniel Jones, you're crazy. Because there's no doubt in my mind that Brock Purdy is better than those 3 quarterbacks. Our eyes do not lie to us in this evaluation. And the tape does not lie. Those quarterbacks are extremely limited, and Brock Purdy's long sample size of having sustainable success and being one of the top quarterbacks in the league since he took over for Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance back in 2022 tells a story. And it tells a story that Brock Purdy's been a top 10 quarterback in this league. Now, has Brock Purdy regressed to the mean? I actually think that Purdy this year is playing some of the best football of his career. And I thought what Chris Sims had to say about Brock Purdy, who's been a known Purdy hater, he made some very good points, and I agree with Chris Sims with his evaluation. He said, quote, I think he's having the best year of his career. He, to me, has made more plays this year outside of the realm of, quote, Shanahan has to deliver it for me, and then I can take advantage of it than I've ever seen before. I've seen more high-level throws for sure. He's had moments of where maybe he's tried to scramble and take over to do something like that, but at the same time, there's no glaring mistakes of Brock Purdy where I look at and go, oh yeah, he's really pushing it and playing too close to the edge there. Not at all. If I would say anything, is could he do even more and be more aggressive inside the red zone? So there's no doubt that this year and moving forward, the 49ers, Kyle Shanahan, and Brock Purdy definitely have to be better in the red zone. But has everything been perfect for Brock Purdy? Has he regressed to the mean? George Kittle's been hurt this year. Deebo Samuel's been hurt this year. Purdy has had no Christian McCaffrey. Ayuk was out of shape to start the year. Trent Williams struggled and was out of shape to start 2024. His offensive line protection at times has been bad. Defense and special teams units have also been porous. This year, we have seen Purdy create. We have seen Purdy make plays out of structure. We have seen Purdy elevate his teammates. So if anything, he's had to do more with less. He's had to do more while facing adversity. So I don't agree that he's regressed to the mean. Now, when Purdy does get paid, will he make more money? And will it be a little bit harder for the Niners to have such a loaded team? For sure. And that's part of the reason why there's so much pressure on this Niners team to win right now while Brock Purdy is on that rookie contract. But again, for the reasons that I mentioned a little bit earlier, you can still pay Purdy and build up your teams. Look at what other teams across the NFL have been able to do. And going back to the point that Purdy has regressed, again, if you watch Purdy so far this year, I actually think he's been one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL because he's had to face a lot of issues. He's last in receiver target separation. The Niners are struggling to create yak, and Brock Purdy completion percentage over expected, tight window throws, pressured throws. He's been one of the top QBs in the game. Is this game huge for Brock Purdy? I think it is. I think the Niners have to win it. You can't start 0-3 inside the NFC West. The Seahawks are very banged up. This is their third game in 11 days. It is Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy against a rookie head coach. The first and second half splits are indeed a thing. But look, I think some of the Niners' issues and some of Brock Purdy's issues are correctable. If the Niners simply capitalize in the red zone, they could be 5-0. And if the Niners moving forward capitalize in the red zone, I think that they can be one of the top teams in the National Football League. Let me say that again, because a lot of people are panicking about this team right now. If the Niners just capitalize in the red zone moving forward, and if they would have capitalized in the red zone in the previous 5 games, they could easily be 5-0. The margins in the NFL are razor thin. The 49ers are 2-3 right now going into Thursday Night Football. They are 29th in red zone touchdown percentage. Their 3 losses: lost to the Vikings by 6, lost to the Rams by 1, lost to the Cardinals by 1. If the 49ers, on just one drive in each of those games, simply finished with a touchdown and didn't have to settle for a field goal, and they converted inside the 20 in that red area, that's the difference between being 2-3 and being 5-0. You look at the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are 5-0. They are 30th in red zone touchdown percentage. Even worse than the Niners. They're 5 wins. Ravens by 7. The Isaiah Likely toe game against Baltimore. They beat the Bengals by 1. They beat the Falcons by 5. Beat the Chargers by 7. And the Saints by 13. Andy Reid has not been able to finish in the red zone with his play calling and his play designs. And he has the luxury of having one of the top defenses in the NFL. Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan don't have that. But Kyle Shanahan needs to find a way to get the Niners into the paint. You know Andy Reid will. Will Kyle Shanahan be able to do that? And if the Niners can do that, they can get these issues figured out, and they can be one of the elite teams in the National Football League. As for Purdy late in the game, Cowherd pointed to that. I actually think he does have the clutch gene. I mean, look at what he did against the Packers in the divisional round last year. Look at what he did against the Lions when the Niners were down in both of those games, and Brock Purdy had to lead the offense back. He made throws. He made plays with his legs. And then the Cowboys game the year before. So there are some truths to what Cowherd is saying, but I'm still a believer in Brock Purdy, and to compare him to Will Levis, Justin Fields, and Daniel Jones, come on now. Another reminder, be sure to hit that subscribe button and join us tonight, Thursday Night Football watch party right here on the San Francisco 49ers Report. We'll be live for an hour and 15-minute pregame show, set the table with a little bit of a preview. We'll be live during the game, live play-by-play, audience interaction, super chat giveaways, and then an instant reaction post-game show.